What's up, guys? It's your boy Ben, back again with another episode of In the Trenches. This time I'm in Farmingdale, New York. That's right, New York. I'm a long ways from home. Gonna hang out and do a behind the scenes OEM in the trenches with my boys, National Compressor. If you don't know, well, you're about to know. Let's freaking go.
This episode of In the Trenches is brought to you by GE Air and Water Solutions.
What's up, man?
How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise, man.
Great.
Staying busy?
You're trying to stay busy.
Man, can't beat the weather here in New York.
I know, it's pretty good right now. It's not too humid, but we got the heat, which is good for air conditioning.
And you got some award show bags. Make sure you get this up on the shelf. Sweet, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to In the Trenches.
Yes.
Right?
Happy to be in the trenches with you.
This is how we do OEM style. So we've only been able to do, I think, 2 other OEM videos like this. So I'm really excited to kind of get to see behind the scenes. Maybe I should move over a little bit for you. Really excited to get to be able to see some behind the scenes stuff of what you guys do and what you bring to the industry. I think a lot of guys don't get to see this kind of, this kind of thing. So cool.
Yeah, excited to get you in the factory, kind of really show you what we do and what makes us unique about our replacement compressors, and looking forward to showing you around.
Sweet. What's up, guys? Back again with another episode of In the Trenches. This time I'm in New York doing an OEM in the trenches with President of National Compressors, Jason Staiano.
Hi.
I hope I didn't butcher
No,
the
you
last
did not.
name. All right.
You said it right.
So, yeah, a lot of guys in our industry don't get to see the behind the scenes type of stuff when it comes to compressors, right?
Yes.
Because if you're in a residential setting, you typically only really get to see like scroll compressors. That's really all you mess with, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But when you're in the industrial world or the chiller world, right, or heavy duty commercial stuff, it's an entirely different ball game.
Yes.
And what you guys do here is something that's pretty cool, I think, pretty
you.
unique. And being able to get to see behind the scenes of all that is not something that's regularly seen.
Absolutely not. Yeah, a lot of people don't get that opportunity, and then they get the compressor that they need, but they don't really get to see what goes into it. So it's a good perspective to get to see all the work that goes into a really well-made remanufactured compressor.
Awesome. So how long? I saw the sign on the wall coming in, 1978.
Yes.
You guys have been in business since 1978.
Since 1978.
So you don't seem that old.
I am not that old, or I look really good for my age. No, it was originally started by my father. I'm second generation. I feel like it's an honor to be a second generation in a company like this in America. A lot of businesses don't get to see multi-generational, there's a lot of stuff you'll see the quality in the stuff that we do. He kind of instituted that like from inception as like a core value, and just keep trying to improve every day, every year.
So how long have you been actively in control of the ship?
Well, I've been here since I got out of school and graduated college and stuff. I used to work here prior to that as summers, dabble in it. So I always had my hands kind of in the business and working on compressors. But I've been here for a little over 20 years now, and being president for the last, I was director of operations for a while, and I held many other jobs, starting at the bottom to make sure I really know all the different areas, and from building to working in shipping, assembling compressors, disassembling compressors, working in the machine shop, you name it, I've pretty much done it. And then I've been president for probably the last 3 years now. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's quite the little operation you have going on here. Maybe for the viewers who maybe they don't stick around for the rest of this video, right? But maybe just kind of a snapshot of what is National Compressors. What do you do?
So we're a supplier of remanufactured compressors as well as new. We do provide new compressors as well. But in this facility, this is where we remanufacture. So we do replacement compressors for air conditioning and refrigeration applications, obviously in the industrial commercial space. and it goes from reciprocating on what we reciprocating and screw compressors. So for chillers, all different sizes, you know, on reciprocating, we go from about, you know, fractional horsepowers all the way up to about, you know, 110, 120 ton. And on the screws, it, you know, low as 35 ton. Actually, you know, some of them are even lower, you know, 10 ton, 15 ton on the real small screws, and all the way up to, you know, 300 plus.
Wow. Those are some big compressors for sure.
Yeah.
Now, when I pulled in this morning, I saw quite the little boneyard, if you will.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to get some video of that and talk about some of that stuff. But again, even for me, like I grew up in a residential market in this game, right? Primarily what I deal with every day in this is the residential market. Some light commercial stuff, but beyond that, you know, anything beyond that that I've been able to kind of get a taste of has been in the world of somebody else, right? I was a guest and just kind of got to put my hands on some really heavy duty stuff. So this is all going to be very new for me. Cool. You know, I know a little bit about a little bit, maybe enough to fry some things. But yeah, I'm excited to see what you have going on.
To show you.
Yeah,
I think it'll be cool.
Yeah. Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get it. Yep. Well, first off, let me say, whoa.
Yeah.
This is crazy. And I got to imagine this is a scrap man's dream.
Yes, it probably would be. You know.
So I see you got a fence here, barbed wire.
Lots of cameras.
If I was
up at night.
If I was a scrap guy and I was into thievery, I think I would be here every night.
Yeah, it would be. The good thing is a lot of them are very heavy.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, I
it
guess
does
there's
help
that.
a little bit. You can't just throw it over the fence and run with it.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of scrap here. But to us, it's not really scrap. It's what we need to run the factory, keep it moving.
Yeah.
You know?
So there's a plethora of different models and sizes and styles and types.
Yeah.
So let's walk through them, right?
Yeah, for sure. So when you look around, you know, you can kind of see different colors and whatnot. So you can see the big pile of black ones here. A lot of these here are all different types of Copeland compressors that we'll remanufacture from some of the legacy models like the 9Rs to the Discus, which are some of the newer ones. And then you have it. If it's a reciprocating compressor, we pretty much have it and do it. The ones over here with green and gray, you got some Carrier Carlisle compressors. You know, for all different types and models.
So when you're remanufacturing, I mean, I walked through the facility to get out here, but when you're remanufacturing this stuff, you're replacing everything.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, the casting is really the main thing that we'll reuse. So that, as you'll see as you go through the process, you know, we'll strip that down, go through a cleaning process, and you know, bring it back to bare metal like it was like newly casted. And then I'll go to machining, bring it back to the right specs and tolerances that it needs to be, and then it'll keep going. And you know, some of the other components like the heads, all the cast iron parts can pretty much be cleaned and reprocessed and machined and kind of brought back. The internal parts we'll put new. Some of the other components like the motors we can rewind. So there's a lot of benefit to what we do. Also, it's also sustainable, and you know, it's a green kind of part.
Now I did walk past some windings and stuff,
Yes. Yeah.
and I definitely want to not leave this whole thing without talking more about that, because that's
Yeah.
pretty fascinating to me.
Cool.
But I mean, I'm looking at these things, right? These oversized Coke cans, right? You rebuild these as well.
We do rebuild these, and these are not giant scrolls. These are actually a reciprocating compressor inside, kind of standing upright.
Well, recips are like tried and true.
Yes.
Bulletproof, right?
100%.
Yeah. So you're cutting these things open.
Yeah, and you'll see inside. We'll cut them open, pull out the guts, remanufacture, disassemble them, go through a cleaning process, put it all back together, with the cylinders done right, back to the right specifications, new parts, round motor, and we'll then seal them back up. So.
Okay. So obviously these things are all different kinds, right?
Yes.
I see trains here. I see some carrier stuff here, Copeland stuff. Like they're just all over the place, and I underestimated how much stuff was here. Down here, it looks like a lot.
Yeah.
When you get in an elevated
when
position,
you go up and
it's
look
it's a
down,
whole lot more.
It's a lot.
So
It's thousands upon thousands.
Yeah.
You know, have to feed the factory. So we make sure we have everything that we need to keep the production rolling, as well as be able to supply whatever we need for our customers. So we're like a compressor specialist in a lot of ways.
the compressor doctors.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm excited to see what you got going on inside.
let's
So
go.
yeah, let's go. So just to get over here, there's a lot going on,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But we have to start somewhere.
Yep.
And you start there by taking what we just saw in the yard,
Yep.
sitting it on a table, and begin to disassemble, right? So what are we looking at here? Because this is not my world.
Yeah, so this is probably the dirtiest part of the factory. This is where we disassemble. This is the beginning of the real process. These are O6E carrier compressors. We're knocking these down, so we open them up, take them fully apart, all the internals, everything will be stripped completely down, back to the casting. And then from there, everything will be kind of divvied out in what direction it needs to go. To be, castings go to cleaning, parts that need to be thrown out, get thrown out. And you know, on to the next set of compressors.
So what I'm noticing here is this is very similar to an engine shop rebuilding engines, right? Or remanufacturing engines where they're pulling all the bearings out, the gaskets, everything.
Everything. We go right back to back to basics, right back to bare casting. Everything gets disassembled. It's the only way to really do it the right way. And every single one will go through the same process, no matter how it comes in the building. If it's super new, meaning it barely ran and somebody said it only ran for a day, to ran for decades, it will all go through the same process. Only way to ensure the right quality.
Got it. It's quite the process, man. So where do we go from here? What happens after this?
So after this, we can go in a few different directions. So the main thing would be, let's go to cleaning. And from there, you'll see where these castings kind of get, the beginning process of getting new life again.
Okay. You still rolling? I think they forgot something in here. All right, let's get out of here. More parts laying around everywhere.
Yep.
So this looks like some type of an oven.
So no, this is our blaster.
Okay.
So it starts with the oven over here, this big blue thing. We put our, all the stuff you just saw will go into cages, and we'll put it in our oven and we'll burn off all the oils, the paint, break it all down. So after it comes out of the oven, it'll come out looking like this. All that kind of powdery, because everything broken down. It's bone dry. From there, we're gonna now blast it.
So we're cooking off all of the grease, the paint, the dirt, everything. What's the temperature inside this thing?
It ranges up to like almost 800 degrees and plus. So it gets pretty hot to really cook everything down.
Like self-cleaning an oven.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of like self-cleaning an oven. And then from there, it'll go into the blaster.
Before we move on to that, can we show these bins?
Show these, show the castings and the bins here.
So we're basically putting all of this stuff into a bin,
Yep.
stacking these bins, and then shoving them in the oven.
Then put them in the oven. Yep.
And I mean, you can get in here, you can see this crispiness.
Yeah, some of them come out crispier than others.
All this stuff just completely crispied out of here, and then all this is going to get cleaned.
Yep. And when it's done, it'll look like it's newly casted.
So where do we go from here?
So from there, it's now going to go over to the blaster. From there, we're going to shop blast it to get all that dried stuff off and bring it back to that real nice bare metal.
When you say dry blast it?
No, shop blast it.
Shop blast it.
Yeah, with like a metal media.
Okay.
So, and it's going to bring it, kind of give it back to new life. So when it
Yeah, I
comes
mean,
out,
we're looking at, whoa.
yeah, it'll look way nice and bright and fresh metal. So,
Who needs a gym, right?
everything's heavy.
I mean, even the baskets are ridiculously polished.
Yeah, well, anything that goes in there is going to come out looking pretty good.
So we're not just, we're also blasting bolts.
certain bolts. We use a ton of new, but there's certain certain older you know,
I
harder
would
to find
imagine
ones.
there's specs and tolerances, right,
Yeah.
with bolts,
Yeah.
and some of them might pass inspection.
Oh, 100% not. So that's why we buy thousands upon thousands of new bolts.
Got it.
Because a lot of this stuff gets, you know,
Cool.
all new.
And look at this right here. Man, look at that. That's been cooked. That's crazy. So we're done cleaning. We move product over here. And what are we doing here?
So you can see the casting, how nice and clean it looks. Now here we're going to do cylinder machining. So the cylinders are out of specification, so we're going to open them up and put sleeves in to bring it back to standard. So it will run at, you know, the optimal efficiency. So we're kind of, like I said, giving the castings new life again.
So we're doing cleaning, milling, new sleeves, new valves, new pistons, everything.
All that stuff is going to be like a new machine by the time it's done, as you'll see as we go through.
Again, not really a process that most guys who do this, who work on these, get to see.
No, they don't get to see this. They just get the
just
compressor.
drop off the
Yeah.
compressor and somebody else
Absolutely.
does it.
Yeah, they don't get to see all that work that goes into it.
Yeah.
So,
This is cool, man. I
yeah,
like this.
absolutely. Thank you.
So I've seen this process before.
Yes.
Honing. They do this on engines, right? When they
100%,
rebuild
yeah.
engines. Yeah.
Just
You
like
get the
engines.
cross patterns.
You
in
get
there.
the proper cross hatching to help the rings seat. You know, you don't want them to obviously push oil. So we're now like doing the finishing step on the cylinder after we sleeved it to, you know, really give it, you know, get it right in the right spec, get the cylinder walls true, and the right cross hatching.
So theoretically, this thing could be rebuilt 100 times because you're removing the sleeves and then honing the sleeves, not the actual block
Yeah,
itself.
within reason. Yeah, so a lot of them are casted that way in the machine. We'll then open it up and put a sleeve in to give it new life. So technically, yeah, we could then machine it again down the line. So it is relatively sustainable when you think about it.
Okay. Very cool, man.
Yeah. Honing machine.
Yeah, in the HVAC business, this is not something you see. These are all
Yeah, yeah.
tools that you don't get to see.
No, you don't get
So,
to see that. You
yeah.
don't expect all that work that goes into it, you know, to build that quality compressor. So,
Cool.
all right.
What do we got?
Let's keep going.
Oh, so these are the ones that you cut open.
Yeah, so these are the ones that we cut open. You can see the lower shells are here. They're waiting for the mechanicals to be built and put into the compressors.
So you cut these open, pull everything, all the guts out. You're refabbing or remanning all of this stuff, and then sliding this back down in there.
Yep, 100%. Bolt it back in there. Put a motor in. We're gonna obviously we test it, close it back up, and then give it a weld and test it again. So.
Wow. So this would make a really cool coffee table
Yes, it
with
would.
some wood or glass over the top of this, but it's like, this is so big, like I could try to crawl in his.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So when I saw this earlier, this was still kind of dirty and kind of gross. Looks like they've taken this off the table and run it through some type of a cleaner.
Yep.
Because it's really, really clean right now.
Yeah, they did the final cleaning process before assembly to ensure, you know, all that media is out. There's no maybe little patches of flash rust or gasket material left over from this assembly. They do a final QC check and give everything a good finish, you know, so the gaskets seat well before we start assembly.
I can't get over how big this is, right? So.
Yeah, I can probably lift it. So.
You know, one of the things that I noticed too is like just the precision of the engineering that has gone into this thing, just as a cast, right? Yeah. As just the mold or the base of this whole thing, and then everything else that gets put into it, right? So when you think of like this working component of a compressor, it's like you just take for granted like how much engineering went into actually making this thing
incredible.
work.
And we're not even the original engineers. We're a remanufacturer. But you know, it gives you a lot of respect for all the thought that somebody put into
Well,
designing these.
and you talk about respect, right? Let's talk about respect to the old heads in the industry who paved the way for all of this to happen, right? What would be the year of this? When did this come out?
I don't know off the top of my head. I want to say in the 70s.
Okay.
But it depends. I mean, some of these have been around, compressors came around at the turn of the century. So they've been coming out with new designs and whatnot, the last 100+ years on compressors. So it's pretty incredible, the history of compressor and where it's going. What's it going to be in another 20, 50 years,
This is cool stuff, man.
Thank you.
So, and I hope everybody can hear this because it's really loud in here. But this is what it takes to get this stuff from not working and fully remanufactured. So,
I don't know if you want to show the parts laid out.
yeah. Want to pan on that?
This episode of In the Trenches is brought to you by GE Air and Water Solutions.
So it looks like we're reassembling on this line. We got crankshafts, right? We got pistons with rods. Obviously, I want to be careful to not drop any of this stuff, right? That would not be good. But man, all this stuff just looks so much cleaner and milled down compared to the burn basket.
Completely different from there. Now this is kind of like all coming together. So here you got the parts laid out. The castings are now machined. They're prepped, ready to go. You can see each one has a QC stamp on it. That somebody came after the whole process. They did the final QC check, marked it down on our paperwork. They stamped all the pistons, each component, before it goes over to assembly, where we'll put it all together. So that'll be the next step, where we mechanically assemble now the compressors that we have prepped out.
So this reminds me of like in a GM factory or a Ford factory, right? Like just the assembly line.
Yeah, the assembly line, you have the air tools, and you're putting it all together.
Yeah, this is cool. How long have you worked here? 5 years. You like it? Yeah. What did you do before this?
Actually, I used to work at a candle factory. I scented candle factory.
Okay. You say a candle factory? Interesting. Okay.
And then from here, I came here, and that was 5 years plus.
Nice.
I've been with them everywhere.
Well, you looks like you know what you're doing. A little bit.
So far, so good.
Thank you. All right, so he's assembling. It looks like he knows what he's doing. That's always an important thing, right?
Very important.
And then now here we got some like fully assembled, well, I guess without some heads maybe?
Yeah, so it's now the next phase where we'll put the motors in. As you can see, this one's going to be put in.
Okay.
And we have the motors waiting. And then after we get the motors in, we'll put the terminal plates on, wire them in, and finish up with the valve plates and the heads and all the other components.
So this is where, for me, things get really interesting, right? And I become very curious because these are all mechanical things, right? You're putting in valves and pistons and bearings and rods and all that stuff. And then you get to the motors, right? Yeah. And when you look at motors, like electrical motors have been a thing forever, right? But it seems like they're more prevalent now than ever, right? Because they're in everything, specifically like inverter-driven motors, right? So when I look at this and I think like, what does it take to rebuild this? Because you're taking all of this wire, right? All the windings of these motors, and you're redoing them. Yeah. To me, I can't imagine that.
It's a process, obviously, like as you see with everything we do. So we'll take the old bad motors, we'll cut them, pull the windings out. It will then go through another process, and then it'll go to our motor shop, which we have in-house. And we'll wind the new coils, and our winders will put them in, lay them all in, tie it off. Obviously, all have to be based on the phasing and the voltage and the horsepower, the right specifications. And then after that's all done, it'll get tied. The connections will be made, and then it'll get varnished. So we'll put a coating of varnish on this to ensure that the windings are insulated and held strong together.
So when couple different things that I picked out of what you just said. So when you say you cut the windings off, so you're cutting these off and then pulling them out, right? Okay, and then you have, it's a mixture of kind of by hand and machines that help you pull this new copper through here, right?
Yeah, so we use our machines to wind the coils that are going to be set in there, and then our winders lay them in by hand, and then do all the tying off and soldering.
That's
to
crazy
finish
to me.
the final connections is obviously done by hand.
Then when we talk about compressors burning out, right?
Yeah.
So what a lot of people don't realize is that these copper windings are going to be in every electrical motor, right? And there's like I always called it a resin, but you're telling me it's a varnish. Okay, there's a coating on there that essentially stops the electricity from exiting that winding, right? And so whenever we talk about burned out compressors, that resin or that varnish gets deteriorated off of this wire, and then now allows that electricity to short out to the chassis of
So it does a few things. One, you can see all the paper. This is like phase paper. So this is, preventing the electricity getting through, right? It's not allowing there to be leakage. Then you put that coating on there, that varnish, and when a compressor is running, it gets hot. So that varnish is helping hold everything together as well. But yeah, you're right. In HVAC, an acidic system can start breaking down. It doesn't just start breaking down the varnish. It'll start breaking down all the other components. Eventually, something's going to.
Well, theoretically, right? Like we should never have in a properly sealed system with no moisture and no leaks, right? And proper vacuums, nice, tight, and clean and dry. We should never have a failed compressor.
No.
Yeah.
It's
So if you failed compressor, like a shorted failed compressor, it's safe to say that somebody probably didn't install that properly. There's probably moisture in the system, but why is there moisture in the system, right? That has become acidic over time. That now this burns out, right? Shorts out, flips your breaker, right? And then now you have to get a new compressor. So, so this is why we stress about brazing with nitrogen, pulling proper vacuums, right? And you get these guys who've been doing this for 30 years and they go, I take 2 smoke breaks and then I'm done with my vacuum. It's just kind of like.
Yeah, it's important. It's like anything. The proper maintenance, the proper procedure of doing something is great. We like to say compressors don't die, they're murdered. Because they're just not, the system wasn't maintained properly, wasn't installed correctly. So, but you're right. If everything's perfect, it should be lasting for decades.
Yeah. The fact that you guys do this by hand, it blows my mind.
Yeah, it's a time-consuming part of the process.
Yeah, I bet.
Sure.
I bet. This is cool. Let's keep going.
Great.
So we're still assembling here, and I noticed all the gaskets on the back wall here. And this is pretty interesting because, I've built several engines in my day, right? And there's nothing worse than getting a gasket that doesn't line up. And then you're just like, well, where's the RTV, right? And I don't see RTV in here anywhere. So
Definitely not. No, we have all the right gaskets that we need to close up every model that we do. So, and that's what's being done here. So we got the motor put in. Now they put the terminal plate on, which you can see here, a nice brand new terminal plate, new valve plate, and they just put the gasket on. The next step is going to put the head. Once the head's sealed up, it's going to roll down and go over the testing.
very nice. Yeah, and we already got the head on this side.
Yep.
So, and I'm assuming it's like an engine on a car, definitely spec'd for torque and stuff like that.
Every bolt gets torqued to the proper specification of that bolt size.
Very cool. Sight glass for your oil.
Yep, sight glass to the oil, so you can see, and all that good stuff.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
So we're electrically testing this, it looks like?
Yes, so it's going to be all hooked up. We're going to hook it up electrically. It's going to be the suction and discharge will be piped in, and then the computer system will run it through its paces. It'll first check the motor, check resistance, mega ohm, high pot. Make sure that the stator is going to run perfectly based on how it's designed. No leakage, no nothing. And then at the next phase, we'll then ask to charge the oil, and the computer will dictate what needs to be charged. It helps alleviate like human error.
Interesting.
And then a run test it.
So fully remanned compressor here, now hooking it up to electric to test it. What if something doesn't check out?
Well, that's why we test it. If it doesn't check out, we'll troubleshoot to see what might be going on, and if it doesn't meet you know, the criteria. If we can't figure it out, and well, usually we'll figure it out. But if there's something that might have gone wrong in the process, it will be rejected, and we'll
Start over?
Start over, yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot.
No, we make sure that everyone that leaves is going to run the
part
right
of
way.
the
Yeah.
QC, right?
That's why you test it, right?
Yeah.
So it's important. It's an important step.
Hey, you need me to help you hook that stuff up?
Go for it.
Now, when it's all finally hooked up and tested, it will, you know, check oil pressure, forward and reverse. It'll check CFM delivery, vibration analysis. It'll go through all as well as leak back. So we'll do a leak back test.
How is this? How are you firing this up and pumping it and getting those numbers without it actually pumping like a substance, like
So-
a refrigerant?
So this, obviously, we have the oil in there, so we check the oil pressure. Once we hook up the suction discharge, we're doing it with, you know, a dry air system to be able to build back pressure. We're doing it this way, so on the reciprocating side, we don't have to worry about the refrigerant going through the raw casting, potentially causing like a flash rust.
Got
So we find this to be a little easier, more streamlined for us to go this process.
You talk about dry air system. Is that so we don't get the oil to absorb moisture?
Yes. We're putting oil into the compressor. So we're keeping it dry air because the oil that's in there is the oil refrigeration oil that we need. So we're doing you know, it's a cleaner process for testing.
Got it. Okay. Man, a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Yeah. So we got some type of a bath here?
Yeah,
What
it's
do
you know, jacuzzi. We'll just on breaks.
This is your ice bath?
Yeah, it's great. Cold plunges, you know. No, so we're going to do leak detection. So after testing, we'll do evacuation to dehydrate the compressor, and then we'll also do a leak detection. And there's a few ways. We can dunk it in a tank of water. We also have a computerized system where we'll do a helium sniffer test and really make sure that that compressor is going to be leak-free when it leaves the facility.
So I know a thing or two about leak detection and searching for leaks in systems, and I will say that that is probably the largest Infocon detect that I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's a bigger one.
Yeah.
Not something you're going to be carrying around on the rooftop. No.
No, not at all. Yeah, so carrier gray, I'm assuming.
Yeah, Carrier Gray, Copeland Black.
Nice. Both very sexy, right? Making HVAC sexy again.
Yeah, for sure.
So these were painted by him in this booth.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
Very
this is obviously coming close to the end of the process. Next will be final labeling, you know, all the right paperwork, stickers, and then boxing. Or it goes into inventory.
So this here has obviously already been redone, right? You can see the new weld marks on here, and it looks like it's probably getting ready to be painted.
Yeah, that's the next step. It's going to be painted just like that one.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, man.
Thank you.
Pretty cool. So these look like they're getting crated up.
Yeah, these are going to ship out.
out of here.
Yeah, they're going to ship out. This is a screw compressor, Carrier 06N. So this is a screw compressor because we also build screw compressors here. It's going to be crated up. You can see they're assembling our crate. That beautiful logo on the side. So you know it's a National Compressor compressor.
Where is this going?
I got to see where this is shipping to. Let's take a look. Give me 1 minute. You have the bill of lading for that? The order?
A little bit of Milwaukee, a little bit of DeWalt. They're not brand specific around here.
Believe it or not, this one, you might want to jump in the crate with this one. It's going to Hawaii.
Oh,
That we ship, you know, nationwide.
Okay.
So this is actually shipping to Hawaii. So beautiful beaches.
well, unfortunately, this is not going on vacation.
No, it's definitely not.
It's going to work.
Yeah, it'll probably help keep people cool that are on vacation.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Very cool, man. Man, you got a lot going on here. A lot of people just in their element, just doing what they do, right? There was a guy in here who's been here for 41 years?
Since 1981.
81. That's a year older than me, so 44 years.
Yeah,
he's
a
worked
very
here.
long time.
That's crazy.
Been here for almost as long as the company's been here.
Well, with all of that, obviously it's safe to say he's a master of his craft.
Yes,
right?
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Well, by now he should.
Yeah. Well,
He's
just
very-
watching
yeah.
some of these guys in here in their element doing their thing, it's like they're obviously very, very good at what they do.
Yeah, they are. And we're very fortunate to have them on our team and, you know, be committed to the company.
Awesome, man. So, screw compressor.
Yes, this is a screw compressor. There's one that we're starting to tear down.
Yeah, I've never seen the inside of one of these, and maybe somebody like, you know, Andrew Greaves. I don't know if you know who Andrew Greaves is, right? He was kind of the pioneer of vlogging, YouTube vlogging for HVAC. Yeah. Basically took a camera to work on this kind of stuff, but he definitely probably knows what the inside of one of these look like. But this looks like some type of a silencer or baffle
Yeah, it's
or
like
something.
a baffle.
Okay.
The compressor.
So I would imagine that's to help quiet the system down.
Yeah, help the compressor run a little more quietly. And then, you know, we're at this phase, this is going to be fully disassembled. And then when you open this up, you'll see the screw rotors are in this section here. So, and then the motor's on this end. So
Yeah, this is out of my realm for sure. Got some ports here on the side. And guys who do this every day, right? They'll be like, oh yeah, we work on that stuff, no problem, right? But for a residential guy, this is outside of the scope of what I would ever
yeah,
think
absolutely.
about
You're not going to
touching.
have something like this
yeah.
on your
I would
house.
not walk up to this and be like, oh yeah, I got you. You know what I mean? I'd be like, I need to make a couple phone calls.
Maybe a few YouTube videos.
Yeah. I know some guys who do this stuff, so they would
Yeah.
definitely be my first call. But
Absolutely.
yeah, this is crazy. So where's the screws that go inside this thing?
It's behind here.
Do you
So-
have any screws in here in this room?
Yeah, we have screws everywhere. Let me grab a smaller one for you. This is one that's actually damaged, and you can see from Disassembly, you can see how it started running. And this is gonna.
Do they always feel rough like that, or is that because it's damaged?
No, that's because it failed during operation. From overheating, liquid, you know, just like a recip, you know, liquid's not good for moving parts. For sure. Yeah, it's like, you know, can't compress the non-compressible, and it could lead to major damage. Now, this will be meshed with a male rotor, male and female. This is the female, and then they'll mesh together as they operate. You know, to compress gas, kind of like a reciprocating, but the reciprocating uses rods and pistons.
So this reminds me very similar to reminds me very much of a supercharger.
Yes,
on a car.
very similar concept with, you know, with the rotors meshing together.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow, this is cool, man. Just crazy. Again, just the engineering that goes into this, right? It's like, hey, we can supercharge a car or Whipple charge a car. Why can't we do that to a compressor?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And you can see, like, you know, when the company was founded in '78, it was reciprocating. They weren't doing screws then. And now, like, we transitioned to not just doing reciprocating, now we're doing screws as well. And, you know, who knows what's to come.
Right. Well, my question is what's next, right? Like we've been through, you know, the scrolls and the screws and inverters now. Like,
Yeah.
what's next?
Yeah.
You know, like
There's a lot of stuff on the horizon that you could see, you know, rotorless and pistonless compressors. So we'll see how that takes off and what applications they go into. There's all different new tech, as you know, new technology comes out constantly.
yeah.
So
Next thing you know, it'll be something that pumps something through the ether. It's completely wireless or Bluetooth. Yeah.
of course it's going to be wireless. Has to be wireless.
Yeah. We're in 2025. Why not?
Yeah.
So, man, this is really, really cool. Is there any place to go from here, or is this kind of?
Well, this is the screw department. So we kind of showed you all the other areas. So from here it would be, after it's assembled here, it would then go up to testing.
Okay.
So it's a little different of a path, but it's, you know, just same end result.
Yeah. So the screws are kind of like in a league of their own. So
In the
they
league
have
of
their
their
own
own.
little
Yeah, we
department
kind
here.
of it's kind of separated from the rest of the facility for the recip.
Very cool.
So
Well, you got a lot going on here, man. A lot of moving parts, no pun intended, and a lot of guys here who seem to be very comfortable doing what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
They're just doing it,
Yeah.
right? But that comes again with time, right,
Yes.
and experience,
Like anything in life,
and,
right?
And also reading the manual, right?
important.
But no, the processes here, man, that I'm seeing, and you have obviously there's checklists, right? And you're combing through everything with a fine tooth comb.
It's the way to ensure the quality. that the end product is the way it needs to be, and then when it gets to the customer, they don't have a problem on install. It's going to run right and all that. So at shipping, the one thing that I didn't show you is that we have a computer there, and that computer has an interlock system with our test stand. So if it fails at test, or it just never gets tested and gets through the process, that computer will allow it to print the tag, will allow it to print the paperwork, and it will tell you that it did not pass. So it's a good safety system to prevent anything leaving our facility that would be non-functional. So it's a way to help ensure our quality.
That's super important
yeah.
with any brand.
100%.
So
you want to get a sense of security when you buy a certain brand.
I wish other OEMs would take that seriously. Yeah. We'll leave that one alone. Yeah. I appreciate you letting us slide through here and disrupt your workday.
No, not at all.
And,
great to have you.
Oh, and if you're looking for the best Italian food that you've ever had in your life, there's a place about 5 minutes from here.
Yeah, right around the corner.
What's
very
it called?
good.
What was it called?
Sapore di Vallo.
Incredible.
Very good.
I don't know how the Italians do it. Whatever they do. So
very good.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. Have a good one. Thanks for coming. This is Jay from National Compressor. You don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here.
This episode of In the Trenches is brought to you by GE Air and Water Solutions.